lyrics files. So it's a little directory. And the only reason I do that is because some of the songs that I have lyrics for are not in the SquareView database. So you don't actually have to do this, but for me, I go into a browse and I show it where my lyrics folder is. And that's right here. Alright, so any questions so far?
You're talking about the setup. Are you going to explain how to get at that after it's already
Yes.
installed and you've already been using it for
Yes.
years and you still don't know anything?
Yeah, so when the first time you open SquareView, this will come up. But in just a second, I'll show you how to open this back up after you haven't used it for a while.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. So then the next thing is lyrics search order. It wants to know if you would like it to search in the SquareView database first and then your personal directory second when it searches for lyrics. So if I click on a song and it wants to search for my lyrics, should I search in its own directory first, then my directory, or should it go into my directory, then its database, or just one or the other? I usually leave the default setting that way. I think things work faster that way. Let's see, and then, oh yeah, should it search for the label of your song or the name of your song? I personally prefer label, that way I can make sure I'm getting the right cue sheet, because some songs both have, there might be two songs from different labels that have the same name. Alright, and then when I'm, oops, let me exit out of that.
So the name of the lyric sheet has to have the exact same name as the song with the different suffix?
Usually, if the label number is the same, that's all that really matters, if you're having it search by label. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So does that answer your question?
No, because I searched by name.
Okay, so you search by name. So then yeah, then the name of your cue sheet would have to be the same as the name of your original song.
Okay.
So you can label your QC, I'll Fly Away, Royal Record 835, and as long as they're both the same, that's going to find it.
Yeah,
Versus
sure,
if you have 2 or 3 other flyaways in there.
Right, let me show you what my lyrics folders look like. They are all the same. This is the same format as my songs. And if you were to look at my actual songs, let me open another window with my songs. They would look basically exactly the same.
Okay, so question.
Sure.
When these come in, when we purchase them, they will have the record label, and then but one of them will have a V for voice, one of them will have a L for lyrics, one will have...
Yeah, every time I get new songs, I have to rename them to make them work with SquareView, to make it so it can search them properly. Yeah.
Okay.
So that is, if you have a lot of singing calls and if you want to put them all in SquareView, that takes a long time. But that's how I do it, because that's the, you don't have to do that, but that will make it search for each song.
So if you left those original VL, high pitch, low pitch, whatever on there, you're going to have to put that also on the singing call.
Right,
So
well,
or the
okay.
lyrics, because if you're using the low pitch one where it's got the label and then the L for the low pitch version, you're going to have the music labeled that with the L on it also for it to match.
If you have your music, if your music says V or something at the end, it will search for the name of the song, right? Or it depends on how you have it set up.
I'm going to go by name.
Right. So I think it should work either way, but I still, I would do it how I have it here, which is trying to name everything the same way. As you can see, like the thing on each side is the same.
So my question is, as a record producer, what is, and people buy my music that don't have a tenth the knowledge that you do, but they barely know how to download it, find it, put it in their singing calls folder, and they want the call sheet that they download, that they can put in the folder, and they want them to automatically find each other. All right.
You want me to show you what it should
So
look like?
how should I name my files, like this?
Yeah, well, this is how I would do it, definitely. if your target audience is SquareView people, I don't know how other programs work.
No, I'm considering with SquareView. If they're using a different program, they're on their own.
Okay, yeah, definitely. If they're using SquareView, let me, before my all instrumentals folder, I have individual folders of singing calls. Each of these folders here has all of the different folders pertaining to that specific singing call.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had to change each thing to make them work with SquareView. So this is what they would look like.
My songs must give you a heart attack.
So I have, let me just
But I have.
let you see the file type. So I have, down here I have my HTML, or my PDF, and it looks basically the same as all the other ones. I just, at the end, I have something different that says high key or low key or vocal. This is how I would personally set it up. If I could choose how all the singing calls that I get could be named, this is what they would look like when I get them.
So it's the label, space, the number of the issue, space, hyphen, space, and the name.
Yes.
So
exactly.
if you're searching by name then, if I'm getting this right, that means, for instance, the singing call I'm going to put out is no harmony and then there's harmony vocals. So the two versions are going to come out. Okay, so a V and an NV, right?
Okay.
And so if I want that lyric sheet to match, no matter which one you call up, and I'm calling by name, I have to give you two lyric sheets because the name matters, right? So I have to say, love my life away, v.pdf, and love my life away, nv.pdf, and for each song to find the proper
I don't
call
think so.
sheet.
I think you only need to give them one call sheet. Like I have both vocals and regular songs in SquareView, and they will both go to the same cue sheet. So the name, this is actually because mine searches based on the label,
Right.
and the label is the same for both of them. So I suppose if you're searching by name, that might be the case. But I think most people that use SquareView probably have it searched based on the label.
Actually, I've seen, well, I search by name.
I searched by
Oh, do
name.
you?
I deleted all the
Oh.
labels, actually. It drives
Really?
me nuts. It sorts all my royals in one section, and I want to search alphabetically.
Well, there's a setting to make it do that even with the labels, but I can show you that later. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll show you that later.
That's 175 songs ago. So,
Okay.
Remember this, you're talking to people a lot older than me.
that'll be a
We
long
remember black and
time.
white televisions.
I think it's
Without
black and white
remotes.
television.
Yeah, I saved all of mine in black and white.
Alright, so
Yeah.
the next thing is this checkbox right here just says, do you want me to create a SquareView shortcut on the desktop? And I would like it to. So as soon as I hit OK here, it'll put it right there. Alright, so if I wanted to open that box back up, like if I'm looking for those same settings as before, I would come up here to Options and hit User Settings.
User said.
Yes, these are our user settings. Okay?
Okay, I get it.
And then basically anything else settings-wise that you want to do would be under Options. Most of the settings that I change are under Music. And there's a lot of settings down here, as you can
You
see.
know what, while you're in there,
Oh, sorry.
in the music settings,
Mhm.
what I don't see up there that it is part of the new SquareView is you can put the break timer visible,
Oh yeah,
and you also can put the adjustment to it. There's one
That's on the
of
most updated version.
You're right, but it doesn't default. As you can see, it doesn't default. You have to go into the settings, yeah.
right here.
And what is
I'm
the newest version?
Sorry, what, I missed what that was. Break timer?
Break timer?
So-
The little coffee cup?
Yeah.
The little
Yeah.
coffee cup up
Okay.
there. Yeah, but there's an adjustment.
You can change
There's
how
a time
long.
adjustment that goes
Yeah,
right
'cause it
next
always
to
pops
it.
up
And that's
5
actually
minutes.
in
Right
my
now
notes.
on mine.
I'm actually planning on
Right,
showing
but
you
there's
how
a
to change
there's a
that.
default setting for that, and he'll show you how to change that. But there's arrows on it where you can change it right there.
Yeah, it'll put arrows up here, so you can change the number.
You want to go ahead and put that on?
Yeah, I can do that right now, actually.
Yeah, put that on.
So I
Show them where that is in the
So
music.
let me just exit out of here so I can show you how to get to it. So under Options, I go down to Music. and then I scroll all the way down to break timer. It's near the bottom, so if you just go to the bottom, you see it. And then it's this edit break time visible. You want to change that to true.
Edit break time visible and change it from false to true.
Yep.
Change it to true.
And then you have this thing right here. So if I wanted to change it to my break time being 3 minutes, and as you can see when I start the timer, it's actually 3 minutes now, as opposed to the default 5 minutes.
Can you change that? There's the adjustment box in that case is below.
Yes.
Now yours showed up there, mine is actually, and I've set my clock to where it's far right, and I've got everything, all that over to the right.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff can be moved around.
Yeah.
Changed and stuff. Based
I
on
know I did it once, don't ask me how to do it again.
Alright, so were there any questions on that?
So I've got, so you can change that on the face then, right there, you can change it, it says 5.
Right.
So I can do 4.
Right. Did you want me to show you again how to get there?
I got it, oh.
Okay. So it's under options. You go down to music.
Okay,
On the top.
oh, up top, got it, options, music.
Scroll all the way
All the
down,
way
break
down to the
time is
bottom.
way at the bottom.
Very bottom, yep.
A lot of scrolling.
All the way at the bottom, and then
Break timer, length 5 minutes.
Length, yeah, you could change the length from up here, but you can also just make it so you
go
can
down
change it
farther. Up. It's right above the other section.
Well, it's, that has the length. Yeah, it changes. 3 minutes.
You can add the option to change it right there. You change that from false to true.
To change it to true.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Over to the end. And then just get on stereo.
Change it to true.
That right there is
And
the
then-
trip down, thank you.
That's
That's what driving me nuts.
Well, I like
This
5
is
minutes,
program.
I'm used to it, so I'm gonna leave it there.
You can go down and
Now
click
that it
OK.
doesn't say 5 minutes,
Yeah,
it says 3
no,
minutes.
I don't know why
It
that's
saves
not
me
the
so
And now
much
you
time.
can
It doesn't make sense to me. It wouldn't be
You
default.
can change how long it is now.
That doesn't make any sense to me either.
I see.
Except that I was the one that's sending the
Ah.
message. Because first it was like, somebody said, well, can't you put the new version doesn't default, the older version did default it,
Okay.
but you had to go to the settings to change the time. I was the one that suggested to him, why don't you put the timer adjustment visible right next to it?
Yeah.
So I can default it to, in my case, 6 minutes, but if I want to go 7, I just click one
Yeah.
thing and it goes to 7 and then I set it.
Alright.
So, because the adjustment is right next to the teacup.
So the next thing is importing music. So these boxes, these 3 white boxes are where all our music goes. So if we wanted to import music, we would go to this button right here, the second from the left above one of the list boxes. Now this box on the left is where I put my singing calls. You know, it's personal preference for you which music you want to put in which box. The middle one is where I put my vocals or whatever the latest music I needed to use SquareView for. And then the one on the right is where I put my pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and find my music. And I have, so I told you that I have all my music in folders with all of the information pertaining to that song. But then I also have an all instrumentals and an all vocals folder because SquareView can only open one folder at a time. So it needs to have all the files in it. So when I pull that up, it has all my singing calls. And then the next one, I'll put my vocals in there. And then the third one, I'll fill with patter. Or hodam.
Singing calls, vocal, and pattern. What's the difference between singing calls and vocal?
So it's the vocals, well this one has the vocal track on it. So if I wanted to practice, if I wanted to practice,
The call version.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see. Alright, so these buttons up here are what control the music. We've got, if we wanted to select a song to play it, we double click it, and it doesn't immediately play, we have to go over to the play button and hit play. And we can actually change that setting to make it so it automatically plays.
No.
No,
No.
not good.
Bad choice.
I
Bad
don't
life
have it.
choice.
I'm just,
But doesn't spacebar
Where do
do
you
that?
change it so it doesn't?
Yeah, you can also-
spacebar, yeah, so there's, a lot of the stuff we do here, there's keyboard shortcuts for it. So the play and pause keyboard shortcut is spacebar. You also have these two buttons up here that skip 5 seconds forward or 5 seconds back. You can change that length to maybe 10 seconds or 15 seconds if
Where
you
are you
want.
changing that?
That's in music settings.
That'd
Oh,
be in
that's the
music
same
settings
place.
again, yeah.
that's the same
A lot of the stuff you might need to change is in music settings. I'm surprised, some of the stuff I think might belong in lyric settings or something else, but a lot of the stuff's in music settings. So then, let's see, so also there's the fade button, I really like. This is new in one of the later versions of Square View. It fades in and fades out.
Why? Is that why?
Yes, the keyboard shortcut for that is
Where is
Y.
that button?
It's right here, it's to the right of the, or it's to the left of the cue sheet button. Alright, and,
Oh,
okay,
I don't have that button.
Yeah, you and I have an older
Yeah,
version of
so this is
Square
the latest version of Square View, and it's not in older
View. For
versions.
yourself, probably you just hit Y.
Yeah,
Well, what's
it,
that button do?
Start. And then
it
it'll fade
fades
out
in
again.
and out.
The song will go on.
So,
Will end.
if you hit Y, the keyboard shortcut Y, if you just click the letter Y, it will also do the same thing.
Yeah.
It'll fade in and out.
Okay.
I don't
Even
have
if you have
that,
an older version.
Yeah.
the fadey in one either.
Oh,
I don't know.
so you hit Y, it fades.
Right.
Now that, but, okay, so I use that a lot. I didn't know that button did anything.
Just there, look pretty.
That's not newer versus that.
I don't have that version. I don't have to.
Alright, so the next thing is queuing. If we wanted to queue a song, then we would right click that song, and it pops up in our queue right over here. So if I want to do that for
So
Powder,
in
You
this
like it.
reference, where queuing is like you're making up a song
you're making a
list.
playlist,
We're
yeah.
not queuing rounds.
yeah.
No, right, we're not curious,
Good.
so.
Oh, I love the right click on.
I am.
that.
Oh,
So put it in my little queue.
So like, oh, so we can, okay.
right, so if we right click any song, it will pop up in our queue box right here.
Oh,
Cool.
And
there they are. Imagine that.
yeah,
I was clicking on them, but I didn't know where the hell they were going. I see 'em.
There you go.
and if we wanted to play the next track from our queued music, we could, let me just cue a couple more songs first. If we wanted to play the next song from our queued music, we could hit this button right here, the two arrows, the two green arrows with a line next to them. That means play the next thing in the queued music.
So you can pre-program your whole dance before your dance.
Yes.
See, I was always just dropping it.
Yeah, I was scrolling around through
Because I would
crap
drag
trying to
over.
find it all.
I
Right.
just double click and then
And
push
real
play.
quick,
Oh,
so
That's
if
good.
you exit Square View, it'll delete all of this, but let me show you the setting to make it so that doesn't happen.
Oh,
If you go
this
to,
one?
if you go to options again,
Okay.
click music, scroll down, there's this music section right here, scroll down past that music section to list box queued music.
Oh.
Under saved queued music, you would change that false to, oops,
Oops.
there we
Change
go.
it.
Oh,
Son of a
false
gun.
to true,
PS.
I knew I showed up at this session for some reason.
right here.
List box.
Okay.
I
List
like
box?
that.
I don't have list box.
What's
Oh,
that
yeah.
say?
List box queued music.
I
So when
have
we're in the
one.
music, we go to where?
So you go to
Then-
options,
List box one, list box two.
Up
list box
above.
three.
then click music.
Got it.
Okay, then you scroll down from the top, you go down to list box queued music. Do you see that?
It might not be in our
No,
version. I don't have that in our
Oh, you
Ours
version.
is list
don't?
box
Oh.
one, list box.
We have list box general as
Okay,
well.
is there any option anywhere that says save queued music?
I think that's one of the newer
No.
additions.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Well, if you download the new version, then you can do this.
I'm worried
afraid to
about losing
download-
all my
I'm-
stuff.
Exactly, I'm afraid. to
No,
lose
you
all
don't
my
lose
stuff.
your stuff.
Do you promise me this?
The installation of Square View does not affect saved music on your computer.
Yeah.
But it doesn't affect your, in the Square View program, in
The
the
settings.
settings, in
Yeah,
the
There
list.
are, I,
we've
you know,
got
I can
pitch
show you how to
changes,
save
I've got-
settings, how
Okay.
to import them into your new version of Square View, but I think that's a little bit later.
Okay.
Well, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to relabel all my junk.
Actually, it's not even, it's not in my notes to show you guys that, but I can show it to you, so just remind me, to show you how to update Square View.
Okay, without losing my original,
Without
all
losing your
my
settings.
work that I've done.
Right. And I actually have it, I have the whole user guide right here, so I can read from that and tell you
Little
exactly.
light reading.
Yeah. So, if you do have this latest version, you can change that save keyed music to true. And then if we exit Square View and open Square View again, our queue list should be there. All of that still appears.
Got it. Okay.
Alright, so, and I like that because sometimes my computer will shut down without me expecting it to, like during a break or something, and I'll open it back up and have to rekey my stuff, so.
Well, that way you can pre-program the dance to it, not have to go in and get to the dance.
Yeah, if you're at home, you just save it and then you go to the
Yeah,
dance.
that's the best way to do it, yeah, just save it at home.
Figure out to write them down and then we're gonna do the dance and try it again.
So the keyboard shortcut for playing the next thing from queued music is K. If you hit K, it'll play the next queued song. And it'll go through your playlist. Also, if we have a whole bunch of queued songs, if we want to play like one of the songs at the end, we just double click it in our queued box. Huh?
Sorry.
So if we just double click one of these songs over here, it will automatically play. If we want to delete just one, we have to, well, if we want to delete everything in our box over here, we hit this delete all button right here, or this delete button. If we just want to delete one,
Which delete button?
this button right here,
Okay.
that'll delete the
The
whole
red
queue if this box down here is checked.
Yeah, I don't have that.
If it's,
You know, we don't have a little box.
oh, you don't?
Boy, I do. It's been abusing me for a while.
Well, they don't have anything, or you don't have anything sitting
Oh, I
up in
just
there.
erased it, so I'll put another one.
Yeah.
But that could be a version thing again.
Alright, well, and for this version, then if you have just one selected and hit
Yeah,
delete,
so
it'll
don't have a
delete
little
just that one. And also, if you have a whole bunch of songs selected, and you want to
Okay, yeah,
move
see,
for,
it's not on
let me just delete this one real quick. I have two of the same thing. If you wanted to move Hummingbird up to the top of your playlist, you just select it and tap this arrow until it's at the top, and you can move things in your playlist around.
That seems to be on the new version.
Yeah, I don't have
Oh,
arrows.
you don't have that either? Wow,
Mhm.
there's a lot of these features I knew. Wow, I didn't realize that.
So extracurricular, you're gonna help us upgrade?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I've got to get my new computer, I'll wait.
Okay, so the next thing is, oh yeah, this tempo, pitch, and speed thing over here.
My best friends.
I'm pretty sure most of us know what tempo and speed are, but I'll just go over it real quick. If I have a song playing and I want to make it faster, I increase the tempo by clicking this and sliding to the right or to the left.
There's a hotkey for that too.
There is.
E and R.
Just a second. So if I want to play that and change the pitch or the tempo or something, make it sound weird, I can do that. So the hotkeys for that are, for the tempo is E and R. R is more tempo, E is less. So I'm tapping E right now and it's going down. I tap R right now and it goes up. The hotkeys for D and F, for pitch are D and F. And the hotkeys for speed overall are C and V. And you can kind of remember that because you have tempo above pitch above speed. E, R, D, F, and C and V are in a column up and down. So you can kind of remember that this column up here is the same as that column on your keyboard. E, R, then D, F, then C and V. They're kind of stacked. Let me pull out the handouts for this real quick because it has all of our keyboard shortcuts on it. I have one page with all of the keyboard shortcuts for Square View.
Which
At
you
least
can also
one.
find under tools as hotkeys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now they're not. I think they're in order. Yeah, in alphabetical order. So that's kind of inconvenient. But
Anybody that does a QWERTY keyboard is, what? Thank you.
all right. So our keyboard shortcuts for volume down at the bottom are to the right of that column on your keyboard I talked about. It's B and N. So it's to the lower right of that column. B brings down your volume, and N brings up your volume. And I don't usually use this volume slider. I usually have it set to about 70, 75. Square View bumps your volume all the way up to 100 by default when you open the program. And I don't really like that. I don't like having it at 100 at all usually, so there's a setting in here somewhere for volume. I'll find it later when I talk about all the settings. Alright, so the next thing is loop. If I wanted to loop a song like a patter song, let me get this playing real quick. Actually, let me delete my cue. If I wanted to loop it, I would hit, if I wanted to set up an automatic loop, if I don't really care where the loop starts and finishes, then I would click this check mark right here. And that will set automatic start and end times for the loop, and it will check this loop button. So the loop button, the loop check mark right here is what tells me whether it's going to loop or not. And these start and end values are going to tell me where the loop ends and where the loop starts. So when I get to the end of the loop, it will jump back to the beginning. When I get to the stop point, it'll go back to the beginning point. This check mark right here sets automatic values for both of those. Now, if I wanted to set specific values for these, I would go to that point in the song, listen for it, and then I'd check that start button when I was ready, when it gets to the right part of the music. And same with the end button. If I'm listening towards the end, I would check it when it gets to the right point, and then at that point you just jump back. When it gets to, at this point it's 2 minutes and 42 seconds. When I get there, it will jump back to 3:33, or into 33 seconds. So the way you can tell where you are right now in the music is this area right here, 3:53 of 3:38. So 3:38 is how long it is, 0:53 is where we are right now. And this thing down here is how long the current music has been playing for. So if I start playing, it'll start counting. If I stop, it'll stay there, or if I pause, it'll stay there. But if I stop, it will reset. Okay, so this value right here is where we are in the music. This is how far the music is, and this is how long the music's been playing. And the reason we need this is because if we've looped something, the music can play for further than whatever point in the music we are. So this number down here can get greater than this number right here. Okay? So if we accidentally call for 15 minutes and want to give them a break, we see that, and it'll actually turn red after a certain point.
The dancers? Well, after 15 minutes, I'm going to be all red.
There you go.
Correct.
Alright, so let's see, loop. Okay, saving queued files, break timer. Okay, so now we're getting to the break timer. So if we wanted to set our break, oops, let me turn this off. If we wanted to set our break timer, we click right here, and it will start a timer for 5 minutes. Now, we could tell Square View to automatically play our music as soon as the 5 minutes are over. So, and we can also tell Square View to make we can also tell Square View to make a pinging sound, or we can make a pinging sound, or play our music, or do both. So let's go into settings real quick. We're going to go to options.
I'm just going to say,
Sure.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what I use. I use the ping and the music.
Right.
I've pre-selected my hoedown, I set the timer. I'm telling you what, that gets you out of conversations and back on time like
Yeah.
you wouldn't believe. They hear that ping and they're ready to dance.
Yeah.
It's a Pavlovian response,
Yeah, and actually
Yeah.
I saw
I start foaming at the mouth and head for the dish.
that's right.
yeah, Andy Garboden, my little brother took lessons with him, and he had this, and he had it ping, and the music started, and everybody, as the caller was going on stage, they were swearing up. He's off eating something, and the music starts by itself. He goes up, and the dancer's already ready. It's pretty cool. So we,
Amazing. Okay.
Yes, you can show them how to set that?
yep. So we go into options, music,
Options, music.
and then we scroll down to break timer.
Way at the bottom.
Yep, second to bottom. So we can set our break timer length right here, but we can also make it so we can change that over here. we can edit break time over here. If we set this to true, so we don't really need this. If we want it to ping,
Playing.
pling,
Playing, yes, I think it's a playing.
Oh,
yeah.
It's a playing.
okay, I'm not sure why you called it playing, that's an interesting word. So if we want it to pling when it starts, then we'll change that to true. If when the timer gets to 0, we want it to start music, then we'll change this to true, to play music on 0. And that will play whatever song is selected. So if I have something selected like I do right here, it will show up right here above the play pause buttons. So I have When Can I See You Again selected, so when my timer gets to 0, it will play that song. It won't just play the next song in the queue. Let's see. If we want to auto start timer on X minutes, do you know what that means? I don't know what this auto start timer on X minutes means. Number of
I have no idea. I set it manually.
0 means auto start, or no auto start. Anyway, this playing music. Oh, that's cool. So you can have a specific song to play when it gets to 0. That's neat.
I know
So if we
that.
wanted to go
We have
select,
like a chorus of angels. Oh, it's time.
or you could have a recording of yourself saying, "Hey, square up" or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's good.
I like
There
that.
we go.
Yeah.
So I have it set to dancing in the street. Let's
Yeah, you're
Change this
conversation with
to-
someone, hey, square them up. That wasn't me.
Well, this is
Now,
all
I
I'm
did
gonna
say,
pick.
I did see just below that, it says playing music volume. You've set everything to 75 for your regular stuff,
yes.
but that's
It
an
says
individual
100.
setting that should be set to 100
I never got that volume
when it
set.
plays automatically after
Sorry,
the
what was
play.
that?
Right under, it says playing music volume at.
Oh, yes.
And it's set to 100, so it would be
Yes.
significantly higher than
Yes. So
what
I
you've
would,
auto
I
set
would,
everything else to.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't. That's a good,
So-
really good point.
That'll wake 'em up.
You don't want it. I mean, unless you want it to be louder, you should probably set that to whatever you expect the volume to already be at.
So, then you got playroom, you
Yeah.
don't blow them out of the water.
So
Get
here
away
it
from the
says
potluck.
default volume.
Dancing!
But where's
So
that
you
default
change
volume?
that,
Use your little.
Kip, where is that default volume?
it's under the music,
I've got
Yeah,
that.
halfway down, under midriff sound front.
If you scroll all the way to the bottom,
Oh,
then
Oh, this thing here.
markers?
Yeah.
Just above that is break timer.
just
Which
above
are we
that is
looking
break
for?
timer and playing music volume percent is I believe what we're talking
Well,
about.
if you're using an amp or everything,
Well, oh,
you control your, with the amp,
Yes.
because,
But
but
this
this is too high, I think it distorts.
It
I
can.
thought you
It
could
is.
set like when the prayer
That
run
could depend on
opens.
the output of your
Needs to be
laptop.
lower.
If you
When
drop
you
it
open-
down,
when
you
you
get a
open
better
Scorpio,
sound
it
on your
automatically sets to
laptop when you're
70%
using
or
an analog
whatever.
out
Oh, yeah,
like
so-
this one is.
So it
Drop
does
to 75,
automatically
it
go
gives
to
you a little
100%,
more
but I'm going to show you guys how
No,
to turn
I'm
that
saying
off
lower than that.
because I don't like that
Okay,
one.
no, I've got mine
It
at
conflicts with the
75.
computer's settings.
Oh, well, if it conflicts with the computer's settings, then it
I want it off.
it's still, yeah, I'm gonna show you.
Okay,
how-
I
timeout.
like that idea.
What are we talking about over here?
So when Square View opens, it bumps up your computer's volume to 100%.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I'm about to show you how to turn that off. You don't I don't want that on when I'm using my computer.
Or are we just gonna turn it off, period, or are we just gonna reset it to a lower rate?
Well, I'm gonna make it so it doesn't change it at all.
I have not been able to avoid the distortion by just, if the computer's set at 100%, I can move Square View down to 40% and I still get the distortion.
You still get
It has to,
distortion.
for me, it has to be changed on the computer, so I like this idea of defeating the Square View feature of it.
So if we
I've defeated it.
scroll
The
down.
computer turns.
So, but if you turn it off on,
Warrior.
if you turn it off on Square View, you're saying that the computer is still distorting it, so then you've gotta go into your
But the
computer.
computer will remember it. You
Okay.
set it to 60%, you shut it down, if you don't take the battery out, it'll remember it.
So
And you
where's
move it back
this?
up
Here
again.
we go, right here. Maximize volume on start. So it's under the music tab. Maximize volume on start is default set to true. I'm going to change that to false, and I do that every time I install Square View. I set that to false because I don't want it bumping up my computer's volume to 100%.
Okay, so we're talking about two volumes. We're talking about Square View's volume and our computer's volume.
if I
It's
understand
on
it
your
correctly,
main screen that you can go up and down with too.
if I understand it correctly, I believe that Square View changes your computer's volume.
Yeah,
So,
It
so
does.
not really, yeah. Yeah, so we're not talking about two different volumes.
So just turning down the volume on the square view on the screen doesn't turn down your computer's
Right, it
volume.
will, it will.
Well, maybe
They're
it
the
does now, I've
same.
had problems with that.
Square View controls your computer's volume.
Where are you, if you change that to false? What is the label of that? I can't read that from here.
Maximize volume on start,
So you
There's
don't
a volume
go
on
on
start.
false.
it's under music, and so you change
We
that
will
to
change
false,
that
you
to
don't want that
false
on.
right now.
Okay.
And then the default volume, two pieces above that is 100. I usually set that to 70. And that way, when Square View starts, it should go to 70.
Okay.
So this right here is 70, this right here is false.
Okay.
Good, too. Default.
Any questions?
volume, no.
You got that?
I think I've got
But
that.
you're letting your computer drive the volume of your dance, not your amp. Is that right?
Well, I use an amplifier, is that what you're asking?
Right, but Dana will take his down to like 20 or 15%.
You can do that, yeah, that's actually exactly why I turned mine down to about 70, is because I don't need my computer to be at full volume. It might sound distorted or something. I use my amp for most of it, but some people turn it down to 15, some people might have it at 50, so I usually leave it at about 70, because I want my default to be higher, because I also use like other speakers like Bluetooth speakers and stuff when I'm calling for a smaller group of people, and I want it to be high enough where I don't have to mess around with it to make it so they can hear it through my Bluetooth speaker. So you could turn it down to like 10, 15 or 20% and still use the amplifier for most of it, but personally I have mine at 70.
Okay, but you're doing that because you're using other speaker systems.
Right, yeah.
Wade,
Okay.
the guy
He's
used to
not
work-
doing that.
The guy used to work in the office, Wade,
Yeah.
the computer expert, he was the one that advised everybody to put their computer volumes between 20 and 30%.
And
Because
so-
of the distortion factor, but they were pushing into a Hilton, they were not using a Bluetooth speaker.
Right, so yeah, I actually agree, that's a good idea. You don't need your computer's volume to be very high if you have an amplifier, you just turn up the amplifier, that's what an amplifier is for. So,
I leaned on it.
let's see, what's next? Any other questions about that? Alright. Okay. So the next thing is Square ID. And I actually personally don't use this, but I'd like to show everybody. If you just push the U key on your keyboard, it will pull up this thing called Square ID.
Ooh,
Oh,
And if you're site calling, this is really helpful. But the problem is it takes a little time to type everybody's name.
yeah, I find it a lot easier just to like.
Right, piece
I
of
would,
paper.
yeah, I would.
Blue shirts.
If I needed to write it down, I'd put it on a piece of paper. But
Yeah.
this thing can put color with it. So if I hit edit up here, and I type in example name like A, B, oops,
You can do
These
first
are for the
name,
same-
last name?
you can, but
I
I'm
don't
not
have
gonna
that
do that.
much time.
No, nobody does though. And D, I can choose colors for each of these people. Now,
well, you,
nobody has that much time while they're standing on stage memorizing,
Never.
if you're memorizing couples or something, or thinking about what you're gonna call, you probably don't have time to do this. I just wanted to show everybody how to do it so you know it's there. But,
You can also hit the two squares right above the coffee cup, and it'll open the
Yes.
same screen if you can't remember
there's
you.
3 different ways of getting here. So there's the U key on your keyboard, there's this Square ID button, and there's, if you go to View, Square Identification right there.
Yeah.
So those all open the same thing. Alright, so the next thing is auto start.
and that's it. It's just always like that. Those little things don't move while you're calling or anything.
No, you
It's an
can-
automated program.
Yeah, if you exit them, I believe it will delete them. But if you just leave them there, then they'll stay there while you're calling and stuff. Okay, the next thing is auto start, and as I heard just a second ago, and as I would say myself, it's probably not a very good idea to use. But if you wanted to, right here, there's a button that makes it so when you select a song, it automatically starts playing. So if I double click on this song, I don't have to hit play, it will start playing. Now there's a couple of reasons why I wouldn't use this, but the main reason is well, okay, so first of all, if I'm gonna be playing a song, it's probably already in the queue, and I would just hit the K button on my keyboard to play the next song in the queue. But also, if I'm using the ping feature, the break timer, I want to be able to have a song selected, or if I want to be able to select a song and have it up here for when the countdown stops without making it play. Does that make sense? So I want to be able to select something without making it start playing, and that's not a big deal. If I didn't want people to hear, I would just turn the volume down, but personally I just don't like auto start. I don't use it. I mean, I can kind of see why some people might want to use it so you can start a song faster, but if you just select it, oops, with auto start off, if you just select it and hit the space bar, then it'll go. So another keyboard shortcut is the period key. If you're in the middle of a song, if you want to restart the song, you hit the period key and it'll go back to the beginning and start playing again. So you go to the middle of the song and you're playing it and you hit space bar or Y to pause it. You just hit the period key and it'll go back to the beginning of the song to start playing from there. So the next thing is tracking. If we wanted to keep track of which songs we've used for a dance or which songs we use for which group, like last time I went to this club, I used this song, you would hit this button, this tracking button right here, and you can type in the name of the group. So let's say Mini Lab, and I'm just going to hit OK. Now, any song that I play right now while Square View's open, it'll keep track of, it'll remember. So if I play that, then that, oops, I don't have auto start on, I'm going to turn that on for now. If I play this song, and if I just play a whole bunch of songs, then if I want to if in this list box, if I only want to see songs that I've played so far or that I haven't played so far, I would hit this search button and I would say music in the track database for things I have played so far, if I only want to see things I have played so far, or I would hit don't match music name in the track database to make sure that I'm not seeing things that I've played so far. So personally, like if I don't want to keep seeing the songs that I've played for this club before, then I'd select that, hit OK, and it just got rid of them. Oh, that's, you want me to go back to that?
Yeah, we're up at the, in which box? Oh, okay,
So, oh yeah, it's
the
that
search
search
box.
button right there.
Okay, so you go to your search.
And then hit don't
Oh, I
match
see it, yeah.
the music in the track database.
To the
And then-
groups.
Once you set it, now, we go back to that tracking thing, how do you re-access that list? Did I miss that?
So if you wanted to see the songs you already have played,
Like you're going back to Call for the Club again,
You don't
or
wanna do
like
that.
happens to me, like I just called Spokane, and people go to this hall, they don't visit this hall.
yeah.
But when I called Saturday night, 60% of this crowd came.
Okay.
Right.
Now I'm thinking, oh my God, I didn't say the songs. Now how do I get back to that list and say, hey, I did these singing calls at that dance, now I don't want to do them again tonight?
So basically you do the exact opposite of what I just did. I just selected this don't match the dance name in the track database. I just told it to show me all the songs I haven't used. So I'd go back and say, show me all the songs I have used. I'd click this option at the top, hit OK, and these are the songs I've used. These are the songs that I've just played.
Okay, can you do that just a
You want me
little
to
slower?
you want me to do that one more
Do that
time?
one more.
Okay,
Just a little
so
slower?
also if you want to undo this special search, you just hit this reset button and it'll just go back to the whatever file path that's.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, and sorry, just another thing, for the tracking, you have to actually play the song.
Yes, it has to be playing.
That's why it's not working right now, because I'm
Okay.
trying to be
I
quiet.
tried
Yeah,
that.
that's right.
Okay, so
I cheated, I put it
we're
right
gonna
in
play
zero
this
when
one.
I tried.
I muted mine.
Okay, so
we've got
you would go
We've got
to
the search
search,
the box open.
and if you want to see ones that you have used so far, you would select this thing on the top. Okay, this
On the
music
right.
in the track database.
This will
Okay.
save me so much time.
And then you hit OK,
Sure.
and then these are the songs I've played.
How long does it hold it in the track database?
I do not know. I could exit it and open it back up again and see if if it still works. I'm guessing it probably, as long as you have Square View open. So let's see.
Ah, there you go.
There we
I
go.
must not have hit some
So,
because I
oh
put
yeah,
stuff
now I
in.
remember. I just learned about this a couple days ago before this, so, the reason it remembers is because, I still have tracking on, and so if I turn off tracking and turn it back on again, let me reset this over
Then
here.
that would be gone.
Then if I select the same dance name as I selected before, it'll have the same memory. It'll remember everything
Okay.
for that group.
Okay,
So
so,
everything I've ever
so
coded
whatever
for this.
I do, Jackson
So
Jones,
you
the next
probably have
dance, I
to
put on
date
tracking.
yours,
And I can
what
come back
date
the
you
next
were
week
there.
and pull
Yeah.
up that
And you
track.
select
And
Jackson
then
it'll
the
tell me what I,
Right.
what I put
I
on.
know the faces,
Exactly.
I know when they'll show up.
And
the next
now-
day. I leave
Well,
my
of course,
ring
that's on my older version.
Yeah. So as long as you remember the club name, which shouldn't be too hard, you
Or
just
the date,
go back to
whatever.
the same club name, and it'll show you which ones you've used for that club name. So
I
let me
didn't
show you
catch
one
that
more
part.
time. If I turn off
So-
tracking,
So you ended up with 10 of these lists, different names.
yeah, as long as you have different names, you can have as many lists as you want.
And so it displays,
This, it'll display the
Go back
songs
to
that
the-
you've used so far.
I didn't see the list of different
Oh, right.
tracks, track lists.
Okay, so I'll show you that in a second. Let me turn on tracking again, and I'm going to select the same group as I selected last time, the same club, and hit OK. Then I go to search. I check this because I want to see music that I have used so far, not the ones that I haven't used so far. I hit OK, and these are the ones that I've used. Does that answer your question?
I think so.
Does it, by any
I
chance?
think what I'm saying, because this happens to me where, okay, so I call it Saturday Night Dance, and then I call it Saturday Night Dance next week,
Pick 3 songs.
and then I see 4 couples come in to dance with me in Utah, they're not, they're all traveling, and they dance with me next week in West Virginia, right?
Okay.
Now, if I say the tracking list, I may have 15 tracks, it's 15 different club track lists,
Yes.
and I want to be able to access that whole list and click which one.
Right. So if I turned off
That's what I don't
tracking.
quite understand.
Oh, let me reset this real quick. If I turn off tracking and turn it back on, I could create a MiniLab 2 group, and it would start tracking for that. And then if I turned off tracking and turned it back on, and it wants to, then I have these 2 different options for MiniLab.
Aha, that's
and
where it
MiniLab.
shows up, right there, I could
Right
click
there.
tracking and it shows up.
Yeah. So now I have that, and I'll ask it which song I just now played. Oops. Did I select the wrong group? MiniLab 2.
You did the,
I didn't just now play all of these. Why is that not?
You need to reset.
I can't get mine to show.
Oh, do I need to? Maybe I need to exit out. There we go. There we go. Okay, so it must be music that I've saved so far in tracking. So here's the difference. I think this, yeah, this one here is for all the music in the track database, and this one is for this particular club in the track database. Okay, so if I want to see all the songs that are in my track database, I would select this one. All the songs I've ever tracked are here, but if I wanted to see them per particular club, then I'd select this middle one, this per dance, and I would select one of these and just double click on that.
So
And
you
it'll
could
show me.
use that to see if you're playing one record or one singing call
Too much?
repeatedly or
Yeah.
too much.
Sure. So does that answer your question?
Yes, it does, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
No.
I can't get mine.
Anyone need help?
I need
Anything?
help, because I put, so when you're, so, like, I have a blank, one of my sections, I just, it's blank right now.
Okay.
So that's where I'm gonna put the, songs that I'm gonna use, I'm gonna track them, so that, and I put in I went up to the tracking, wrote down the title of the name of the club, and then the name of the club comes up underneath it, so there's like the name of the club, because it's got 2. It's got 2.
Okay, so you've done it twice then? Or is it the same club?
No, it's the same club.
If you do the same club, then I would recommend just selecting from that list. So for
So
example,
I hit that.
if I've done MiniLab before, I probably wouldn't, on the screen here, I wouldn't want to type in MiniLab again, I would want to select MiniLab from down here. So I'm
Okay.
making sure to use the
Got
same
that.
thing as
Yeah,
last time.
okay. Then none of this. Okay, then go to the screen comes up again for the search. Click on music in the track database, or do I do?
So the music in the track database would be for everything it's ever tracked.
Oh, okay, so I just wanted the dance name,
Right.
so I click that. Okay.
And then if you want,
Match only, and then it says match only, if you want to check match only whole name,
That's if, for example, you've got Minilab to,
match only.
if I had something that said dance afterward and versus something that said,
Oh, like dance.
lesson?
Last week.
if I wanted to make sure that it's matching the whole name, then I would check this one. For example, if I had one group that I called lesson and one group that I called dance, then I would want to separate those by saying match only the whole name instead of parts of the
Parts
name.
Or plus night, main student night with the same club.
So shouldn't those titles come up then? Shouldn't I be getting a
So-
screen?
So did you check this middle one right here?
Got the middle one, check.
And then did you select the, over here on the right, the double clicking on
That's
that?
what I didn't do.
Different question.
Yes,
You said that SquareView controls the computer's volume level.
I believe
Well,
that's
two, okay, so to just play, when I told you I did, right? So I intentionally moved my computer's volume to nothing.
Okay,
Okay, so I clicked on my 4 singing calls and I tracked them and I made sure the tracking worked.
okay,
I had already gone into the settings as before and set my computer's volume to a default of 50%.
okay.
I closed SquareView. I reopen it and my music is still muted. SquareView did not bring my computer's volume.
Yeah,
Because they're setting your SquareView to start at 75%, but there's also a setting where SquareView is controlling your main music. You might have that to false, because there's 2 different settings.
yeah, I actually don't, I'm just gonna be honest, I'm not 100% certain, but if I go, I'm just gonna take a look real quick.
What I want is SquareView to, because sometimes SquareView remembers that I put it to 50%, the computer's volume, and sometimes it doesn't. And it frustrates me.
Maybe it has to do with logging out or something, just a guess.
I don't log in or out, I set the permissions also, I don't have any of that problem.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
have no idea.
Or maybe restarting or something. Anyway,
I
so,
can't find a consistency.
okay. So this is where I set the default volume. Did you set this right here, the default volume?
Yeah, where it normally says 100?
Right. Did you set
Right,
that?
right near, oh, max, no, max volume, I didn't put, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, the max volume, maximize
Max volume is
on
where I
start.
was.
Oh, maximize volume on start. Yeah, we changed that to false.
Right, and then above that,
Oh yeah, this is
Default
probably,
volume,
this
I
is
put it
probably
50.
it right
That-
here.
That's the 2
This-
settings.
Yeah, so this would probably change the volume to whatever you want it. So
what's that?
increase, decrease volume percent. So if I wanted to change it to 70, I'm gonna quickly save that setting, exit, and open back up just to see if this works. Actually,
Yes,
first of
yeah.
all, let me change my volume level
okay, digital background.
and see if that comes back up to 70. Did it? No. What if I play a song? No.
Nope.
But it did, this thing did go to 70. Let me change that, then exit it and try opening that back up. That is at 70. So I must have been wrong. I don't think, this volume right here is not the same as this one right here, as you can see.
Mhm.
So.
What's
I
that
don't-
one you just showed?
That's
Huh?
the computers.
That's,
That one lower right is the computer's
Windows.
volume.
Right.
got it.
I wonder if it's the phone version that I was thinking of that changes the volume of the computer, maybe. But anyway, I thought that changing the volume on the computer changed it in SquareView, but I guess I was wrong.
No, not in my version of.
Okay. All right. So, were there any other questions regarding that? I'm good. All right. So the next thing after tracking. Oh yeah. So this name, the name of the tracking club that should be saved, and you should use the same tracking name each time you go to that same club. That way, it'll remember songs from last time you were at that club.
On the, to save your tracking, how does?
It automatically saves. So if you use tracking and you open up tracking, then it should save this list of everything you've ever used.
And how do you erase that whole list if you want it to go away?
I do not know. I would probably, I mean, if you want to install Square View, I'm sure it would do it, but
I highlighted it and then just deleted the top line and it went away.
let's see if the delete key does that, or right click delete. How did you delete it?
When we had the tracking open,
Mm-hmm.
I highlighted up here where it says enter name. Just hit delete and this went away.
Okay, so
I'm still not.
Tracking.
Where was it? How did you get to that? What should I click on to get there?
So, in my version, when you open up, like when you try to make a track name
Mm-hmm.
and you had a list, I just like hit delete, deleted the
Oh,
list name.
that's interesting. Mine doesn't do that.
It might be our version.
Yeah, probably.
well, it deleted the top line, but it didn't delete the next one down. And then it came back. Got it.
There's probably a file in the Square View files somewhere for tracking. I'll just spend a second on this. If I can't find it, I'll go back.
Save it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably one of the things in the settings folder, so it's not gonna mess with that.
I do realize that we could go on with this forever,
Yeah.
but it is 2:08 and we only have till 2:30.
Yes, so,
I'd like to
Good point.
spend forever on this.
but I don't have much left.
Okay.
So, okay, so the next thing is making sure that you know that this, so if we search for something, this reset button right here will reset your entire file path and go back to how it was. Okay, so the next thing is moving on to lyrics. So if we search for lyrics, if we have a song and we want to search for lyrics, for example, we have Hummingbird playing or selected, we want to search for lyrics, we go to this button right here to the right of the fade button and click on that, and it'll bring up something that says, that has the label number and the title. And because of the way we formatted our names, it knows which is which. It has the space hyphen space right here, so it knows which one's the title, which one's the label. So I usually search based on the label, but you can search either way. And then we would select this. And then if you want to marry lyrics, then when you find that song that you've searched for, you check this always show selected lyrics button right here. And that will marry the lyrics to the song.
You don't have to go up and do it manually.
You can. There's a different way that I can show you to do that without searching, but no, you don't actually have to do that. You just check this button and that'll marry the lyrics.
I wondered, because I checked that and then I never had to go back and do.
If they're both named properly.
If they're both named properly, right. So, or if you see it down here at all, and you check that, then it will marry the lyrics. So if you can't find it through searching the name or this, then and you check that, it doesn't matter if it's named properly. If you see it down here, then you can do that, and it'll still marry it.
I see, okay.
So I'll hit OK, and now it's married the lyrics to Hummingbird. Now, oh yes, and if you want it to automatically search for lyrics when you start the song, this button right here to the right of the delete button, this button right here, toggle lyrics on and off. That means that when you select a song, it will automatically find the lyrics for the song, or it will automatically search for the lyrics. So I'm going to turn that off, or I'm going to turn that on. I do want it to automatically find the lyrics for me when I start a song. So I'll go back to Hummingbird, and it has found my lyrics. And if I want to see those lyrics, there's the search button right here. We've already done that. So to the right of that appears the lyrics button. I just click on that, it goes over to the lyrics tab, and there's my lyrics. So there's this lyrics tab right here, and there's the music tab over here. If I want to go back to my music, I click the music tab, and I can switch back and forth. So as long as this is off, or as long as this red line is not there, it'll automatically search for lyrics when you play the song. So since Hummingbird has the lyrics married, I don't have to go and search anymore. I just click this button right here and it'll go to the lyrics. But I believe I have an example of something that doesn't have married lyrics, and it's not in the database. Please go back. Okay.
So if it's not finding them, it may not be in the database.
It's too new.
Sorry?
If it's too new of a song.
Yes, it might not be in the database, which is why we showed it where our local directory was in the beginning, in the user settings. If we wanted to show it where our local directory is for our personal lyrics folder,
Oh, yeah, I didn't.
if we had one folder of our own with all our lyrics in it, then we would show it where that is with this thing right here.
Got it, okay.
Okay, so if I wanted to play a song that does not have the lyrics married to it, sometimes if the lyrics are in the directory, it'll automatically search for the lyrics and find them, and then I can just go over here to lyrics and it'll automatically pull them up because SquareView already has the lyrics to this song. If it's named correctly, then it can find the lyrics automatically. So for example, where I come from, it automatically found it. And the way you know that it found your lyrics is this show lyrics button right here. That won't be there if it hasn't found your lyrics. It'll only show the search for lyrics button. You guys see that?
No.
Wiggle
the cursor a little.
You guys see it? Okay, right here is the search for lyrics button. Here's the show lyrics button. That won't come up if it hasn't found your lyrics. So that's how you know if it has found your lyrics. So if I wanted to show my lyrics, I click that. If I have a song though that its lyrics are not in the SquareView database, then I will have to search for it myself and marry the lyrics. So let me real quick find my song. Days go by, where is it? I happen to know this one is not, or I thought I knew, isn't in the SquareView database. Okay, let's try Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. Oh, you know why it's coming up? Is because I told it where my directory was, so it already knows. But if I searched for it and just looked in the, what? Oh, I don't know why, it's working too well for me. It's finding my stuff before I wanted to. Yeah, it's just working, wow.
So,
It's not supposed to
I
happen.
may have to ask you a question after.
Okay. So if it didn't find it, then I would go ahead and search for it and hit the search button, pull it up. Oops.
Now it's not.
Oh. See, I thought I didn't have it. Okay, so I don't have it. Yeah, so it must have pulled up something else. It pulled up the wrong cue sheet because my label is SP1032 and none of these match that. So if I wanted it to find mine, I would select directory, hit search. It would search through my personal directory. Now it's found my cue sheet. And then I leave this checked so it will marry these lyrics. Does that make sense? So because I've changed it from searching the database and it found the wrong cue sheets, I told it to search my personal directory, and then it found my personal cue sheet, and I leave this over here checked so it will marry the lyrics and use that cue sheet each time. And now, if I go over here, it'll open up, this is actually my lyrics over here, right here in the Word document. It'll open up whatever program it needs to see it. If it's a Word document or something, it'll open up Microsoft Word. Or if it's this thing
Then how
over
do you
here
use it?
only reads PDFs.
Okay, so bring your lyrics back up.
Okay, so I go to Music, and I hit the Show Lyrics button right here. And it brings up the next
So
one.
How do you do
So the other one that's on there is always in your way though, I mean, it's there.
This is the last one selected. And the only reason it's still here is because it's linked to the program, and for that particular song it had to open up another program.
Okay, so bring your lyrics back up there over the top of the other one.
Oh,
You got them
both
there,
of them?
yeah. Because you're doing your song and your lyrics. Now, because it's went to the Word program, do your hotkeys and stuff still work?
No. Only when the other program is in front do my hotkeys still work. So, for example, the space bar. Let me turn up the volume so you can hear it.
So how do you get your lyrics into that program so that you can still use your hotkeys and stuff without having to flop
So-
back and forth?
If your lyrics are a Word document, I don't believe you can do that. But
And copy
If
and
it's Word-
paste
if
it
it's
in
Word.
SquareView?
Yes, you can.
But you can create
It's a
another
Word document.
file. You could create an HTML file or a .txt file. So do you want me to show you how to do that real quick?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay.
So
So,
is that what SquareView reads, is HTML or
Yes.
TXT?
no, HTML or PDFs.
PDF?
Right. So, if I
Okay.
wanted to change it to an HTML, You know,
I had like.
Can I make a suggestion to that?
Sure.
There's an online site called Zamzar, ZAMZAR.com. And I have used that to change doc files I get, because I can open them, I can't edit them because I don't have Word. I can change doc to PDF. I can change PDF back to doc. I can change WAV to MP3, and it's free.
That's cool.
That's the right part.
And it takes, if they're really busy, it can take up to 3 minutes.
Okay, so in Microsoft Word, since I'm using this particular program right now, Microsoft Word can save it as an HTML. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go hit Save As. I'm going to go back to my lyrics folder to make sure it saves it to the right place. Oops. And I will click on Rockin' on the Christmas Tree so it overwrites this original file, because I want it to overwrite. Actually, I don't think I can do it because I have it open right now. So I'll make a new one. Anyway, it's going to be a different file type. I'm going to go ahead and save it as an HTML. So you just hit Save As File Type and scroll down to HTML. And then I just click on that and hit Save.
Single file web page and HTML.
And so now that's gonna be an HTML,
Right.
and it'll go into that other database so that you can use your hotkeys
Yes. It
for
should.
it.
I'm
So how do
going
you
to be
store
full
it?
night
How do you
tonight.
store it in that Squirby database?
Changing them.
Well, you.
Go to file and
I don't
if you-
think you can.
you
This
can
is my
save,
directory. This is
Okay.
my personal directory.
But
but you can save your files in SquareView. Go up to file and go to save as. If you go on your SquareView and go to file, and then when you're in your document, in your program, go up to file, and you can save it on a little pencil.
Oh,
File.
you could. Yeah.
And then
You
you can open file, open from database, or save to file. You can save it to file, and it saves it to the SquareView file.
could. Right. If I
as an
edit this
HTML.
one, yeah. If I write one or something. sure.
Right, because that's how, and
Right.
I
I
can
could just
save.
copy and paste and do that too.
Yeah, you can copy and paste it and save it
That's
as
a
an
good point.
HTML
Yeah,
from
I hadn't
there.
thought
You
of
don't
that.
have to do.
So you would open the song that has no cue sheet,
You-
or that's has
Right,
a
so
separate
you
cue
made
sheet.
your own, you typed up your own in Word,
Yes, then you just copy it, paste it in, and then click.
but you have to make sure you're in your little pens, in your editing
In your
For-
pencil.
Yeah.
of your
Yeah,
song.
Sounds like it would work, but I think it could be a little bit more complicated than this. I don't know. But let me just show you guys what we're talking about. We're talking about copying all of this
You save
from
your.
this cue sheet.
your
I'm going to hit
cue sheet.
Control C to copy that.
Mhm.
I'm going to get out of there and
Go
edit
ahead.
this one.
Yeah. Whoop. Let's see.
Oops,
Yeah.
because I'm in the wrong one. It wants to open one already. Oh, you know what? Every time I hit the button there, it tries to open my Word. So let me finish showing you how I've already done it though. So I just saved an HTML, right? I'm going to search, I'm going to hit the search button to search for one. Search directory. And now it has two. I'm going to go back and delete the original. That way I don't have that Word document in there. So I'm going to go into my lyrics directory. And I have now I have a Microsoft Word document and a HTML for the same thing. See these two folders down here? They're the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and delete my Word document. Delete. Now it'll only find one when I search. So search again. Now I just found one. Okay, and it married the lyrics, and there we go. It's in there.
Now, turn the music on,
Everything should work.
and that's doing it with your keys.
That was my key.
Everything should work.
Oh, that could make my life so much easier.
Alright, so the next thing, so are there any questions regarding that? Do you guys want me to quickly, like, just kind of re-say how I saved that? Or,
Well, yeah, we could redo the whole class about 6 times, but we're gonna get this video, right?
yeah, okay.
What
So,
video?
The next thing,
This
Get the
video?
audio,
Oh,
get the
yeah.
audio recordings too.
She forgot to hit record. My bad.
So you saved it as a
Freaking out.
PDF or an HTML.
Oh yeah, they said they were
To
recording
the
all the
which
sessions,
file?
so.
It's an
so it
audio
was my
recording
personal
that he's
directory,
doing.
my lyrics
Oh.
directory.
This will eventually
Your
end up in
personal lyrics
CALLERLAB
directory, and so
account.
you then direct, that's what I don't have in my head, is how when you go to St. Paul, how do you change the directory search?
Oh, yeah,
To
that was,
find that file folder.
right, so the directory, I told it where my directory was from, when we went to user settings, right here. This is how I told it where my directory is.
Keep him on time.
I have a personal file with, or folder with all my lyrics to all my songs in it.
Okay,
And that's what I pointed it to.
okay, what did you click to bring that box up? It happened so fast I didn't see it.
User settings?
It
User
was-
settings.
Is that the
options.
user settings?
User settings, that is correct.
That is user settings, okay. Cool.
So do we have to worry about path and path music, path lyrics?
No, well, the path lyrics, yes, but the path music, just leave it as use latest selected folder. That way it'll go where you know the last place you selected. All right.
Select, use default.
Okay, I see.
Okay, then the next thing.
So you're select lyrics folder on the path for the lyrics.
Yeah.
Select lyrics folder.
Yep. Select lyrics folder.
Okay. So maybe that's where my mistake
And then the next thing was auto lyrics, okay, or lyrics play. So if I turn off auto start and turn back, this last option down here makes it so that as soon as I start playing a song, the lyrics for it will automatically come out right here. So if I double click Days Go By,
But then it starts to.
Oops. if I have auto start on, I'll just double click the song and everything goes on its own. The lyrics come out and everything.
Sometimes that's something.
Now
Okay, go back to those lyrics.
Okay.
It didn't find,
So you've got your opener, middle, help.
oh, there we go.
Your figure. Maybe you
Can you
wanted
use
to
Hotkeys
do
still
like
work
two
in that
different
position?
figures. Can you scroll up and down on that?
Yeah, but this is based on how the
Got it.
person wrote it. I didn't write this.
Okay.
You can also
And-
page up.
Well, that's what I
page
was
down.
wondering. Yeah, so that answered my question.
You know, say just page up and page down to scroll.
Right, yeah, you have, if you have
I
page
should
up,
have been
page
here,
down
then she could have
buttons.
did all this for me.
Okay. So that's basically it. Does anyone have any questions? Do we need to go over anything again, or?
You have changed my life, sir.
Mine too.
Cool.
That not maximize volume,
Most of the stuff,
it's fixed my problem.
most of the stuff I just told you, I literally learned in the last week, so, just saying.
I'm still not on the track.
Well, thanks to you, we learned it in an hour and a half.
Maybe.
Yeah, and actually, if you, okay, so if you go back to squareview.se, that you can download this manual that I learned all of this from. So,
He really has a manual now?
There's one on there.
It's
You
Yes.
guys, the translation from Swedish to
Well,
English.
can't you get all this with the help button on Square?
It's in a
Actually,
PDF
you're right,
format, I'm
yeah.
assuming.
So if you just hit your help
Sometimes the
button on
translation's a little
SquareView,
weird.
you can hit About SquareView and go to his website right here.
Maybe him,
Uh-huh.
About SquareView.
hoping.
It'll open it up, you go down to Downloads, and next to the Download button is the help file, including download and installation instructions. And that's where I got all this from. There's this button right
So-
here, the help file.
If you hit that, will it just open it up and you can read it all on the screen, or do you have to download it?
It does download, but it just comes up. I mean, I don't tell it to download,
Yeah,
but it does automatically.
okay.
And since our Wi-Fi is a little slower, it's taking its time. But if anyone wants to look through this, I have it right here. Anyone want to take a
I'll
look at it?
just print my own, I guess, but.
Okay. And it also has an index so you can look through if you have anything specific. Alright, so that's basically it.
Cool.
Good job, dude.
Thanks.
Appreciate
This is
it,
the most
thank you.
helpful seminar I've been to for years.
I'm still having trouble with track.
And if you have any trouble, I would love to work
Tracking?
with you on your
Well,
computer and help
getting
you out with it.
my
What's your name and
songs that
phone
I
number?
played to come up on, even though
Email
I,
address.
even though I